Time for Act 3 of this fantastic soap opera here at the Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi, in the glorious nation of the United Arab Emirates. I'm Dave Sanson and I'm on a much colder circuit than I was 24 hours ago for the opening race of the season. The temperature really has plummeted to the floor, and as a result, a lot of the information that the drivers will have taken from yesterday could be very different coming into this one. Now, one of the key factors in the 2025 Formula Regional Middle East Championship is the change in the compound of these GT tyres. They're a lot softer, and the disparity between the lap times between yesterday and today has been quite extravagant. After race 2, we're actually looking at the difference in fast lap times between the two Formula 4 races in the first part of the day. The gap between race 1 and race 2 was 0.7 of a second. Between race 1 and race 2 of Formula Regional, there was 2.5 seconds difference in lap times. Now that tells us a lot about the longevity of the tyre. It also tells us that the teams have really got to do their homework going into this third race. Can anybody stop the charge of Freddie Slater? Certainly at the moment it looks unlikely, as the Mumbai Falcons driver is going to have a very difficult time of it getting off the line in these colder temperatures. But if he can do it and get to the first corner first, it's going to be very tricky indeed to see if any of his rivals will even get a sniff. Certainly he's going to have a lot of opposition from the grid. Evan Schielter really wants to climb the top step of the podium, and we've had two very different winners over the course of the first two races. But are we going to get a third? It all comes down to how aggressive Evan Schielter can be off the starting line. You can see for yourself the drivers are making their way to the starting grid. We caught up with a few of them ahead of this third and final race of the weekend. How tough our tyres going to be, and what's good to learn around this circuit? Let's find out. And this particular circuit, a real challenge. Tell me a little bit as well about the tyres on this circuit. What is the big advantage that you're having to try and find here?
Yeah, this circuit very fun, very technical, very fast. And yeah, for what we are seeing now, it's that the tyres on maybe like a quali run only have 1 or 2 laps of the peak. So you have to really push on those laps and not make a mistake.
Having the support from Red Bull is always a big excitement for any driver, but does it come with an additional pressure coming into this championship, or is that not really where your head's at?
Not a lot of pressure for me. I just want to, well, of course, say thank you to Red Bull and enjoy this experience of being with the team, learning so much with so many amazing people. So, and yeah.
And working very closely with a driver with the experience and the passion as Wang Xiongwei, he's obviously a very good person to work with.
Yes. First, I have big respect on him that in his age still competitive in such a, I would say, tough championship with the drivers and physics side, because this car is really physical. Also, tight schedule, a lot of driving. First, I put big respect, and obviously he has more experience, and yeah, we both have learned from each other.
And I guess that mastering these GT tyres actually makes you a better racing driver. It gives you another skill.
Yeah, I mean, one of the major skills of the drivers is to be fast at adapting. So it's one more thing that, you know, contributes you to be a better driver, the adaptability. So it's important to adapt quick, and let's see.
This is a big chance for the team, but it's also a great opportunity for you. You're up against some drivers that you grew up with, the likes of Théophile Nal and Enzo Deligny, and this is going to be an interesting challenge to see how you fare against them.
Yeah, there is a lot of big names where I beat them in karting and just battling with them in karting. Then I moved to French F4 and I just leave the international motorsport game. And now to come back in Formula Regional last year, and now this year coming back for the second year with all the big names, like you said, Théophile and other from international. It's good battling for next.
Your objectives coming in, obviously we know that Santalok can be a race-winning combination, so can you, we've seen it before. Is the championship possible?
let's see. We will see after the two first rounds there in Abu Dhabi. So we will put everything in our side to be ahead, but it's going to be difficult. But let's see. We are testing many things during the test, and we will see. But I'm excited.
It's quite clear over the last couple of campaigns that you've really embedded yourself in this team. You've really found a home in Evans GP. What is it about this particular atmosphere that just makes it fit for you?
I mean, for sure, everyone here, all the mechanics, the engineers, everyone that works here, I know they work really hard, and when we get it right, they get it really well done. I know what they're capable of in F4 and what they've been capable of in Formula Regional, and so we'll just keep working to get back up to that level in Formula Regional.
A huge hearty thank you to all of the drivers who contributed to the pre-race show. Some great words from half the field, it seems, over the course of this weekend. We're going to give you some more on Wednesday and Thursday for coverage of round 2. Here's the circuit they'll be using. Formula One fans will know it well now. It's been on the Formula One calendar since 2009, in its current configuration since 2021. And for the last almost 20 years now, I can't believe how quickly it's flown. This place has been the meeting place of champions, crowning no less than 4 Formula One World Champions since 2009. Sebastian Vettel, Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg and Max Verstappen have all taken the Formula One crown on this circuit. This man is hoping to march to his next crown. Freddie Slater won the F4 UAE and Italian titles last year. 11 months ago, he was crowned F4 champion of the United Arab Emirates. Now he's a Formula Regional driver, won on his debut last night. The other race winner, by the way, earlier this afternoon was Kanato Lee. There is Evan Chilter, the man who can stop the British driver Freddie Slater in his tracks. He has brought his French team, ART Grand Prix, to the Middle East. They, of course, are well known to fans of Formula 2 and Formula 3. But it is great to see that he's put on a great show for us. There in third position is the Red Bull youngster, Ernesto Rivera of Mexico. He was a Spanish F4 race winner last year, joined the Red Bull program at the end of the season. Let's see if Helmut Marko's faith in him can be rewarded tonight. Certainly with third position on the grid, it looks pretty promising to me. But he's going to have his countryman alongside him on the second row of the starting grid, Jesse Carrasquedo, Euro Cup 3 race winner when he was battling for the title last season. Here he is going for another big push with his Pinnacle Motorsport team. He's a lovely chap. He grins in his helmet. He is a fabulous character. I've always got a lot of time and a lot of respect for Jesse Carrasquedo. But the man who everybody here on the home turf is watching tonight for the Yazheat Academy, Rashid Al-Daheri, a fabulous competitor, fluent in Italian as well as Arabic and English. He clearly has his sights set on a Ferrari drive one day, and he has grown up 15 minutes away from this circuit. Motorsport is his life. Yuga Wagachukwu, Macau Grand Prix winner back in November, part of the McLaren Young Driver program, almost certainly one of the contenders and one of the candidates to be the next American in Formula One. And certainly with a very bright future. You don't dominate Macau the way he did in November without it getting the attention of Formula One team bosses up and down the grid. This man's got a good shot tonight. Reza Suwerthan, he's only doing the first 2 weekends of the championship, but being up in 7th on the grid, he wants to make a big impression after 2 difficult races. He's in the right team. He's in a fairly good position. Can he make good use of it? The man who is British but has Mauritian roots, definitely wanting to put on a great show. He's going to have a lot of pressure on him from behind as well. Teofil Nal, the Frenchman, 8th on the grid. Here's what happened in the earlier race. The Japanese driver Taito Kato pretty much stalling on the grid and dropping to the back. That gave his teammate Kanato Lee perfect license to run away up at the front. He had pressure early on from the Frenchmen, Teofil Nal and Enzo Deligny, but they could never quite get close enough to Kanato Lee to challenge his position. While there wasn't much change in the top 3, there was plenty of change everywhere else. A great battle between Jesse Carrasquedo and Rashid Al-Daheri almost came to blows, and that gave Jin Nakamura, the Toyota young star, an opportunity to throw his hat into the ring. There was some great wheel-to-wheel stuff from Jin Nakamura as he and Jesse Carrasquedo flirted with the boundaries of disaster, as Sterling Moss would have put it. And it also caused an incident further back as Jack Beaton ended up tagging with Finley Green, both drivers out on the spot. But teammates were perfectly willing to battle away with each other. As Chukwu got frustrated, sat in behind Enzo Deligny. Rashid Al Daheri had to work incredibly hard to hold his position. But Kanato Lee came of age, and ART Grand Prix got their first win in the Middle East on their second attempt. Kanato Lee of Japan, Bruce to his mates, was certainly in fighting spirit. Well, it's going to be very hard indeed for Kanato Lee to do it again in race 3. He goes off P13 on the grid. So it's definitely going to be very tricky indeed. So Jack Monaghan wants to ask the question, is Rivera joining Eurocup 3 or Formula Regional Europe for this year? I'm not entirely sure. It's been announced. So I have a feeling it's not quite been confirmed yet. I think it's very much up to Red Bull. Wherever they decide he's going to race, that's where he's going to race. So no doubt that will be revealed in due course. So Freddie Slater versus Evan Chilter, the pride of Great Britain versus the hero of France. That'll be a great drag race to the first corner. Both of these men want to be their country's next Formula One superstar, and both of them have a great chance of doing so. They've got talent in spades, but have they got Lady Luck on their side tonight? We're about to find out. The formation lap begins, and Freddie Slater is hoping to make it 2 out of 3. And of course, if he wins this race, he will get the triple in the Rookie Championship. It's almost a dead cert the way he's currently going about things, that he could have the Rookie Championship very much going his way. So it's going to be a very interesting one. Freddie Slater, Evan Chilter, and then behind them on the second row of the grid, the man who cleaned up in American karting, Ernesto Rivera, the Mexican, now part of the Red Bull fold. So as one departs, another enters. And Jesse Cadascado, of course. It's going to be really exciting to see how it works in 4th position. Well, I have to say a massive thank you to all those of you who have your sympathies for my poor vocal cords on the live stream. Thank you for all your comments. It's been a bit of a tough one this weekend. Fell ill yesterday morning, and hoping that it's not going to be a long-term deal. I'll sleep the entirety of Monday, don't worry. Maybe part of Tuesday as well, so that we can be ready in time for Wednesday for the second round of the championship, which will again be right here. And on that occasion, we'll be using the corkscrew layout, which will not go all the way down to the hairpin. It will be a bit of a cut through as they go right through the next turn. They'll go sharp left and drop down that particular part of the course at the top. We'll talk about that on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, of course. So now let's talk you through the starting grid. Freddie Slater, pole position. Evan Chilter alongside him. The second row is an all-Mexican affair. Ernesto Rivera and Jesse Cadascado. P5 on the grid for the Emirati, Rashid Al Daheri alongside the American sensation Yuga Chukwu. Reza Suwerthan from Great Britain alongside the Frenchman Teofil Nal. 9th on the grid for Jin Nakamura, the Toyota young driver, alongside his teammate Akshay Bora. Then Taito Kato, Honda's next prodigy, alongside the Australian. That is Aaron Cameron. Kanato Lee, race 2 winner, alongside Enzo Deligny, race 2 podium. Brandon Badua, way down in 15th. He's got a lot of work to do. Impressive from Giovanni Mascio, P16 on the grid this time. 17th on the grid from Lorenzo Castillo. He lines up beside the American rookie Everett Stack. Then it's Liu Duche, who lines up in 19th on the grid alongside Jack Beaton, who's been very unwell all week long. Jaden Pariat and Aditya Kulkarni, they take their battle to the 11th row of the grid. Kai Dadianani of Great Britain alongside Ukraine's Yaroslav Vasalaho. And then behind them on the final row of the grid, it is Wang Shengwei alongside the British driver Finley Green. So 26 competitors will charge their way forward. Race 1 had no safety cars. Race 2 had a pair of them. How many are we going to get in race 3? If Freddie Slater gets away and jogs on, he might not need one to get this race done. It's all down to Evan Chilter. How good a start can he get? Certainly it's looking really good indeed for the top 3. Expect Ernesto Rivera to deliver in this one. He is very good when his back is against the ropes. And the Mexican has been taken on by Red Bull on purpose. It's no accident that Helmut Marko has spotted some genius in him. So let's see what he can do from 3rd on the grid. Conquered all in superkarts in the United States. Let's see what he can do in single-seaters at Formula Regional level for the first weekend. The green flag flies at the back of the grid. We're waiting for the lights to go out. When they do, we're racing. Let's do it! Good start from Slater, reasonable from Gilter, might get up the inside line, but Slater's going to have to shut him down early, and there's a lot of battling on the way to the first corner. The teammates from Japan, Carter and Lee are once again swapping it, but Gilter cannot get ahead of Slater. Problems for Aldeheri! Aldeheri's dropping back! Oh, the Emirati has a problem in turn one. I wonder if he's got a puncture. Well, that is absolutely disastrous for Rashid Aldeheri, but as they work their way through the W Hotel, and there's an off as well, it's one of the PHMs. I think that might be Everett Stack. So problems then for one of the PHMs, getting spat out to the scenery. And there's all sorts of squabbling coming out of the W Hotel as drivers are still trying to find their feet. Who's that running wide? It's one of the race GPs with a broken front wing. It's Yuga Chukwu! Yuga Chukwu with a broken front wing. So I wonder if the two of them, Yuga Chukwu and Aldeheri, may have collided. So Yuga Chukwu in trouble, and so too is Rashid Aldeheri. Two of the big names in this championship. Oh, there goes the wing. So Yuga Chukwu has no chance of any grip now on the way to the hairpin. He's got to trundle back to the pits, and any chance of a decent points run for the American is now gone. That is so disappointing for Yuga Chukwu. He's now going to have to drop to the back and do it all again. He's got to pray for a safety car, which he gets. Safety car is on track as he comes out of the pit lane. So Yuga Chukwu will get the chance to get back to the pits, put a fresh front wing on, and hopefully he'll be able to rejoin, but depending on how much damage he's picked up, it could be game over. Well, Slater has certainly done the business on the opening lap, but this time he's had a safety car at the end of the first lap. With yellow flags on two sections of the course. Looks like we got somebody off at the W Hotel, as well as debris down at turn one. So I wonder if that's Rashid Aldeheri having parked his car at the W Hotel. Maybe that's why we're on the safety car, because he was limping. We saw him go very slowly through. Into the pits comes Yuga Chukwu. There's the new front wing that's being prepared for the race GP driver. But what a disappointment for the American. He'll be greeted by his crew, and this is not what the Macau Grand Prix Dominator needed to finish the weekend. The crew go to work, and that is pretty much game over for the race victory. There might be a point or two on offer, but it's certainly not going to be a race-winning night for the American. Very disappointing indeed from his point of view. So we'll continue the battle. The top 12 drivers, of course, scoring points going into this race. Freddie Slater has 44. Kanato Lee has 34, thanks to his win in race 2. Teofil Nal has 28. Brandon Badua has 27. Rashid Aldeheri has 26. He won't score now, because he's in the pit lane himself. He's limped back to the pits. Let's see if we can unpick what happened. There it is, look. They already made contact. So Yuga Chukwu had already tagged the back of Aldeheri's car, and it looks as though he picked up a puncture. So that's why there was just a little bit of a love tap between the two of them, but it was enough. And I'm sorry to say that that is very much the problems that you can have when the field clusters together at the start. And poor Yuga Chukwu, you can see him in the background with his loose front wing. He turns into the left-hander, and the wing parts company, thank you very much. I don't want to be on this race car anymore. So there goes the wing. Yuga Chukwu tries to recover, and there is the stopped car. Now that is Everett Stack. That's why we're under safety car. So Everett Stack's car is stopped, and in the most awkward of positions as well, because that's under the W Hotel. So no wonder we're under safety car. There was no way that was going to be an easy extraction. So very difficult indeed. And this is absolutely perfect for Freddie Slater. Now it's interesting, a lot of people are using this safety car to start debating what will happen in F3, because of course a couple of the drivers are going to go to F3 at the end of this season, as of course will Teofil Nal. But it's interesting, a lot of people are talking about, you know, if you do well in Formula Regional, that's guaranteed you'll do well in F3, or maybe not the case. Don't forget, for those who've been watching this championship for a few years, it wasn't that long ago that Oliver Bearman joined the championship mid-season and really struggled. I don't think he actually got any podiums over the course of his short campaign. He jumped straight into the F3 car and he was mighty. This is all about learning, this championship. A lot of drivers come here to do this because it's easier to race and more beneficial to race than it is to go testing. Safety car in this lap, that's the command they get. So Slater is going to back them up. Evan Schilter needs to keep his wits about him. So too does Ernesto Rivera. Kadashkedo is fourth from Sawurthan. Nakamura, Nile, Cameron, Kato and Badua. Then it's Bora, Kanato Lee, Mashio, Deligny, Beaton, Kulkarni, Pariat and Dadianani. On the restart, Slater's dropped the hammer. Perfect. That's exactly what you need on the restart. Schilter and Rivera are going to have to work hard to stay with him. And it's green, 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 green here at Abu Dhabi. 22 minutes on the clock. And Slater's already got about 8 car lengths between himself and Evan Schilter. That might be all she wrote. So through they come as they work forward out of the first hairpin. Slater's just getting himself naturally into the rhythm. He did talk about tyre management from race 2, that the temperatures were a lot colder than yesterday, and that's something that they've got to take into account in this one. Fascinating to see how the drivers get the benefit of it. A bit of a run wide there from one of the race GP cars. I think that was Jin Nakamura going wide. So clearly a very slippery surface, this one. The contenders are finding it very tricky to get the car working how they want it to in these cold conditions. Chukwu and Al-Lahiri have rejoined and are still racing each other, albeit now down at the back. Slater out in front, Schilter in second, Rivera, Kadashkedo and Sawurthan. So funny looking at you guys chatting and debating about when Freddie Slater is going to make the jump up and when we'll see him in Formula 1. I'll tell you exactly when you'll see him in Formula 1, 2 years after Nico Hülkenberg retires, because then he can take his number 27 and make it his own. That'll be when. So Slater leading the way, Schilter second. Rivera third, Kadashkedo, Sawurthan. Oh, and there's a run wide. The Axel GP teammates are at it again. Kulkarni and Pariat cannot stay away from each other. They were all over the place in race 2, squabbling like there was no tomorrow, and it looks like they're going to do it again. 3 wide down to the braking zone. Who's going to get there first? It looks to me like it's going to be Giovanni Mashio. He has made such a step forward after last year. So much more aggressive, so much more confident, so much more authoritative. Great to see Giovanni Mashio doing such a better job in 2025 already. He's now in 11th, looking good for points. Renato Lee, race 2 minutes right behind him, and there's Deligny and Bora going wheel to wheel as Mashio manages to hold on from Renato Lee. So good work so far from Mashio. Down to the braking zone for the hotel. That is the hard-charging number 45. That is Jack Beaton. Welcome back to the party, Jack. This first weekend has been pretty much a write-off due to his illness. I have a feeling that when we get to qualifying on Wednesday for round 2, you'll get the Jack Beaton that you recognise. So Slater, 7/10 of a second in front of Schilter already. Car 66, first warning for track limits. That is Nuruche. Down the pit straight of the Formula 1 circuit, and this could be a move on the inside. Here comes Beaton. That's the Jack Beaton we know, and he forces the number 1 Enzo Deligny sideways. Beaton keeps his foot in as they go side by side of the crest. He's been hiding all weekend. Now the Jack Beaton we know is back to his best. He's still kept his foot in. He's got the inside line for the hairpin. Jack Beaton is back, boys. Fantastic. What a great bit of racecraft from the Australian. That will cheer him up. That'll put it all back together. Jack Beaton is once more on the march. And he's only 2 points away, 2 positions away, from scoring a point. He's still at it, side by side with Deligny. And he's going to brake slightly later. Hold the inside line, no worries. Further back, there could be some contact. Well, just about staying out of the rear wing, and that's an overshoot from Akshay Bora, I do believe. So Akshay Bora's had a very tricky lap as he drops to the back of the field. He's coming in the pits, so Akshay Bora goes straight to the pit lane. So clearly more problems for the youngster as we go nearly 4 wide down to the first turn. Someone's got to give, someone's got to relent, and on this occasion it's Castillo. He holds back, and a big charge forward from Kai Dadianani. So the British driver hangs on to the position. Great racing everywhere. So this is perfect work. There's Al-Daheri trying to get back into the action alongside Liu Che. And under the W Hotel, did he get him around the outside? Surely not. Of course he did. Rashid Al-Daheri finds a way to do the impossible when everything is stacked against him. Great work from Al-Daheri there. And it looks as though there could be a bit of a charge back too from the 96. That's Yaroslav Vezalaho now starting to make his impression. Yugo Chukwu, I think, has already picked off these two. There he is. So he's hunting down Castillo. Al-Daheri is chasing him down. Yugo Chukwu. No way was he going to be that brave on the inside. He genuinely thought about it though. So Yugo Chukwu and Al-Daheri cutting their way through the traffic like Kit Bardew and Sylvester Stallone in the rubbish movie Driven. But that is basically how they're going about it. Coming off the hairpin. Down the back straight. Surely Lorenzo Castillo is going to be a sitting duck at the braking zone for the chicane. Yugo Chukwu and Al-Daheri are going to make mincemeat of him. Here they come. Yugo Chukwu is going to be sent the far side. He can still get along with the radius. Watch for Al-Daheri. Can he get both of them? He backs down. Castillo goes long. Yugo Chukwu has to come back. Al-Daheri thought he had an opportunity on the inside line. Try again into turn one. Slater, Gilles Rivera, no change up front, but this is the proper battle. Castillo, Yugo Chukwu, Al-Daheri, and in behind them, that is a very hard charging Lulu Che. Bit of a slide from Yugo Chukwu. Job done. Nicely worked there on the inside line. Very little Castillo could do once Yugo Chukwu forced the issue. And the American absolutely bossing it. What about Al-Daheri? No way is he going to pull that off around the outside at the W Hotel. He's on the curb, keeps his foot in, and they make contact. Oh, so close. Genuinely thought that was going to work, but I'm afraid it's not going to happen. So Lorenzo Castillo is pitched around, and I'm afraid Rashid Al-Daheri runs out of luck on that occasion. He lets the others go by, so drops behind Finley Green. He just got on the curb. That was very reminiscent of what we saw a couple of years ago between Tuka Tarpanen and James Wharton in the F4 Championship battle. And that was what made Jack Wharton the F4 UAE champion, of course, that year. But it was so close. Rashid Al-Daheri almost got the mother of all overtakes done. But there's a reason you don't go around the outside into that W Hotel right-hander. It rarely works. So let's see if Slater is just going to continue to extend this gap. At the moment, the gap is just above 1.5 seconds. And Esther de Verde third. Here comes the move on the far side from Kanato Lee. So Kanato Lee is trying to take on Giovanni Mascio. But this is a very different Giovanni Mascio compared to last year. He really has worked hard. So this is going to continue on. Here comes the run on the far side. Kanato Lee tries his luck. Giovanni Mascio is absolutely guarding the gates of Valhalla on the inside line. No way are you getting through, sunshine. I'd rather Jack Beaton has a go at you, to be honest. And that looks like the Australian invitation has been found in the post. Down in the braking zone. A bit late on the brakes for Kanato Lee. He was lucky he didn't go into the rear wing of the man in front. Giovanni Mascio lives to fight another day. That was really close. So now they get to the final two corners on the Formula One layout. And Jack Beaton is just waiting for his chance. Through they come onto the pit straight of Formula One. Meanwhile, in front of them, it's very serene, I have to say. Slater, Gilter, Rivera, Garashkedo, Sawirthan in P5. Then the Toyota young gun, Jin Nakamura, running in a very solid P6. I'll tell you what, all the Super GT and Super Formula teams will be keeping an eye on this boy. Then in 7th place it is Teofil Nile in front of Aaron Cameron, who of course is not only a very talented single-seater driver in Australia, but he raced in the Bathurst 1000 last year. Here comes a big slam dunk. Oh, there was just a little hesitation there from Kanato Lee. It was almost as if he thought, right, I'm going for Mascio, and then at the last minute, he decided against it. Should have just believed in himself there, should have just committed. As Al-Daheri gets the move on Liu Che. So that's another place made up. Meanwhile, Rivera is battling with his Mexican colleague. Rivera versus Carrasquedo. The teammates are going to go to battle. They don't look like teammates because Rivera is running in the Red Bull colours, but they are both in the Pinnacle garage. Here comes Carrasquedo, and there's a little gap left. Is that enough? Oh, Carrasquedo has to bail out, but Rivera gets a little bit hesitant. No, you don't. He bounces back. Well done to Rivera. Any other driver, any other rookie would probably have rolled over and let Carrasquedo have that. But Rivera realised there was a little bit of traction off the turn, a little bit of grip as well on the acceleration, and that'll do nicely. A little bit of a run wide from one of the Evans GP cars. That will be enough for Taito Kato. Aaron Cameron overshooting a little bit there in the W Hotel. So Rivera still third, Carrasquedo fourth, and Suwerthen, Nakamura, Niall, Cameron and Kato, and the 10th place man is Brando Badua. Kanato Lee has finally got ahead, by the way, of Giovanni Mascio. And there is contact investigated between the 88 and the 10. That is Lorenzo Castillo and Kai Danianali. Apparently, no further investigation is necessary in that one. There might be for this. Is there going to be a bit of a duel? Certainly there is. Cameron desperately trying to hang on in front of Taito Kato. But Taito Kato is doing a great job. So through they go. Now the final turn of this section. Down the back straight. Rivera and Carrasquedo. Rivera tries to drop him from the toe. Down the back straight, Carrasquedo looking for his move. And further back, a really good war is raging. Cameron, Kato and Badua, they're going to be very tight together. They could be three wide by the time they reach the braking zone. There's battles in front as well as round the far side. That could be Teofil Nal and Jin Nakamura. He can't quite get close enough, but Carrasquedo has got ahead of Rivera. So Carrasquedo gets into third place. So Slater well clear, Gilter in second. Carrasquedo has finally got his man and got ahead of Ernesto Rivera. Suwerthen, Nakamura, Niall, Cameron, Kato and Brando Badua. Then Kanato Lee and Jack Beaton. Mascio down to 13th again as Jack Beaton has found his way into the points after what's been a miserable weekend so far. Deligny struggling in 14th. Ugochukwu back up to 16th. Aldeherdy's now back up to 19th. Bit of a run wide there from Cameron. Surely he's not going to be able to hold on. He doesn't. He has to let Brando Badua go. So Kato and Badua have now got ahead of him. 10 minutes to go in the third and final race of the weekend for Formula Regional. And Slater leads Gilter, Carrasquedo, Rivera, Suwerthen and Nakamura. Track limits, third warning for the number 10. That is Lorenzo Castillo. So Lorenzo Castillo, having had initial battles earlier on, he then came together with Kai Danianali, and the two of them have dropped to the back of the field. Danianali, by the way, has gone back out after an investigation in the pits. So they may as well get him back out there and get some race running in. It's going to be really tricky down to the braking zone. Again, I thought that was going to be a bit ambitious for Teofil Nal, but he's one of those drivers, a bit like Alex Powell in F4 earlier, who will leave the braking as late as humanly possible and somehow get it turned in, and that is exactly what Jin Nakamura senses. Teofil Nal going for it, side by side. Teofil Nal goes right, that's where Nakamura sends him. Beat him to the braking zone. Nakamura goes long on the brakes. Now keeps his foot in. Lovely! Oh, brilliant from Teofil Nal. Formidable, mon brave. Excellent from Teofil Nal. And that will put him up into P6 ahead of Nakamura. Taito Kato's on the warpath. So Nakamura will want to get on with this because it'll be the two Japanese protégés racing each other. Nakamura of Toyota, Taito Kato of Honda. Both men want to be in Super GT and Super Formula someday. Hell, they both want to be in Grand Prix. Slater, Gilter, Carrasquedo, Rivera, Suwerthen, and then Teofil Nal, having made that beautiful move on Jin Nakamura. Taito Kato, 8th place from Brando Badua and Aaron Cameron. The last 2 point scorers so far are Kanato Lee and Jack Beaton. Just the two retirements thus far, Everett Stack and Akshay Bora. Everybody else is still going strong and everybody else still on the lead lap. So a very interesting continuation for the race, but not for Freddie Slater. It's pretty lazy out in front for the moment. He's not pulling away as much as he did yesterday. but that's because he's controlling his tyres. He likes to do this, give himself a couple of seconds, and then just let the tyres cool down a little bit, just give himself the chance to dial back in. Watch him in the last few laps, that's when he'll really open up the gap again, to give himself that little bit of extra space. Chukwu working hard to try and move forward. We're currently back with the two Japanese talents. Jin Nakamura battling with Taito Kato as Teofil Nal closes up on Razor Suwerthan. So Razor Suwerthan under big pressure from Teofil Nal. This is what Nal's good at. The last few laps he's been keeping it quiet, looking after the tyres. Here comes Teofil Nal, rocketing to the braking zone. Can he hold it round the outside of Suwerthan? Oh, he's done it again! Magic! Magic from Teofil Nal in 2 consecutive laps. First he gets Nakamura, then he gets Suwerthan, and that's the top 5, baby. Wonderful from Teofil Nal. Now Suwerthan has another go at him round the far side, but Teofil Nal knew he was coming. Are you sure you're going to get me back? I don't think so. Wonderfully done. So Teofil Nal now up to 5th position in front of Razor Suwerthan. Nakamura and Kato. This is the big rivalry of the Japanese stars I waited for all weekend. And Nakamura versus Kato are now going to be absolutely electric together. So it'll be really exciting to see now whether Taito Kato, the French F4 champion, the rookie, can take on Jin Nakamura. Both of them, of course, in a race to Formula One. Honda, of course, set to move to Aston Martin from the Red Bull operations, and Toyota extending a technical partnership with Haas. I've got a feeling there'll be more to it than that in years to come. So Nakamura and Taito Kato, both on a mission to Grand Prix racing, and both here tonight representing the 2 biggest motorsport manufacturers from Japan. Toyota versus Honda, Race GP versus ART Grand Prix. Nakamura versus Taito Kato, behind Razor Suwerthan. Down the back straight. Taito Kato is so good on tyres as well. Nakamura may not have much of a response for him in the last 5 minutes. Taito Kato hunting down Nakamura. If they do trip over each other, Brando Badua is waiting in the wings as Freddie Slater goes through on a 1:50.4, keeping that absolutely perfect 2-second gap between himself and Evan Schilter. But the lap times have dropped considerably compared to yesterday. They're in the 1:51s now. So it's definitely a tougher race day today than it was yesterday for the drivers. Slater does not seem to be able to pull clear of that 2-second gap. Either that, or he's just managing the tyres more than we expected him to. But of course, you don't win the race on the first lap, you win it on the last. So Slater clearly carrying a very careful strategy. But it's good to know from Carrasquedo, he's been able to pull 4 seconds clear now of Ernesto Oliveira, who's got a further second on Teofil Nal. That's probably come from experience for Carrasquedo. Ernesto Oliveira still learning these tyres. Still a very big battle building here. Suwerthan, Nakamura, Kato, Badua. Badua going for the move on Kato in the final turn of the Formula One layout. They're going to be side by side. And Kato's kept his foot in. Brandon Badua's really got to come up with something special now. Kato putting across. That'll do for now. Slow in, fast out for Badua. That might be enough. He's got alongside, and Brando Badua's there. Beautiful work from the Italian. Up into the position. Taito Kato has no response, and Brando Badua gets there. So behind them, they're going to have some pressure from the Australian Aaron Cameron, who's still in the top 10. There's going to be a pressure cooker building in front because Teofil Nal has caught up to the Red Bull youngster Ernesto Oliveira. I told you, his tyres are good. Can he make it 3 times out of 3? He's side by side with Rivera. He's going to go long. He's going to beat him to the braking zone. Oh, magic from Teofil Nal. 3 attempts, 3 moves. No wonder he's going to be in Formula 3. Wonderful stuff from Teofil Nal. Some drivers are born ready, and Teofil Nal has been ready for quite some time now. Look at Rivera though, he's not backing down, but Teofil Nal places the car exactly where it needs to be. Just wonderful. So Teofil Nal now P4, but he's got 6 seconds to make up to get even close to Jesse Cadascado. He's dropped Rivera. Teofil Nal is now one of the fastest drivers on the track. Can't quite keep up with the pace of the top three, but a lot of that is going to come down to the fact that he's been battling with Rivera. So Padua's now ahead of Kato. Can he get the job done on Jin Nakamura before the end of the race? There's a black and white flag for track limits. That's for Jaden Pariat. So a very difficult situation as they continue to move forward. Freddie Slater still dominant out in front, 2.6 now ahead of Gilles. So he's started to build that gap back up again. He's been looking after the tyres. Now he can drop the hammer and check out. And with 2.5 minutes to go, Freddie Slater is going to take 3 rookie wins out of 3 and 2 overall wins out of 3 to take a commanding lead in the championship already. So this is going to be a tie battle up the inside. This is going to be the duel. And Taito Kato gets the move on Jin Nakamura. He is so good on his tyres. He wasn't particularly quick off the exit though. So Jin Nakamura can come back at him. Honda versus Toyota. ART versus Race GP. Wheel to wheel. Almost banging wheels as they get to the braking zone. Taito Kato does not want to lose face to Jin Nakamura. They both lock wheels and Nakamura slides wide. Taito Kato will have him back. He's got to concede the position. My goodness, that was the proper Japanese wrestling sumo match that we've been waiting for between these two. And Nakamura's got to give the position back, surely, to Taito Kato. So he'll drop back, he'll ease on the power, watch him out of the hairpin. It would not shock me at all if he lets Taito Kato ease back in front. He might have to wait until the Grand Prix straight, depending on what his team tell him to do. The temptation, of course, will be there to stay in front, but I don't think he'll get away with that somehow. A really good battle between these two. So here they come. Nakamura in front of Kato, and there's going to be a conversation as to whether or not he'll have to move over and let him go. Taito Kato looking for his manoeuvre. Is Jin Nakamura going to concede? No, he's not. Well, that'll be a conversation that they will have in the steward's room then. Should he move over and let him go, or is he perfectly okay to stay there? Interesting debate. They go through the crest and drop down the hill, and Taito Kato will be livid. Did you see what he did? He cut the chicane. He should move over and let me go. So Taito Kato is going to be aggressive on the way through, over defensive, over protective from Jin Nakamura. Shortly on the exit, Taito Kato is going to have a run on him again. So Taito Kato will try once more. Jin Nakamura is going to be the sitting duck this time. Goes to the white line, goes over the white line. And Kato is going to draw level again. He's going to slam dunk him. Oh, brilliant from Kato. Beautiful overtake. Taito Kato sells Jin Nakamura the dummy, and he buys it. Excellent racing between these two Japanese protégés, but we're not finished yet. Nakamura's back for more. Man, I love this circuit now they've made the updates. On the far side, Kato still having to protect Nakamura. Round the far side, Kato holds it. Wonderful stuff between these two. So a really exciting race battle between them. There is Ernesto Rivera, and he's got some difficulties on tyres now. Brando Badua is catching him big time. Rivera has lost 5 seconds to Teofil Nal. The time has run down to 0, and Slater has pulled out only 3 seconds on Evan Gilles. I say only because yesterday he pulled out more than double that, but he doesn't need to pull out any more than he has. He just needs to control the tyres he's got and bring it home safely. Gilles in second place, looking good. Jesse Cadascado looking good for third. And this time, if it stays like this, there will be only 3 men on the podium, because Freddie Slater will also take the Rookie Cup win. 3 out of 3 in that championship. It has a real ring of dominance to it. And a lot of people pointed out to me yesterday on the way back to the hotel, Andrea Kimi Antonelli is a superstar. He's a wonder kid. He's a Formula 1 driver at 18. Freddie Slater managed to win on his Formula Regional debut. Andrea Kimi Antonelli didn't. Tells you a lot, doesn't it? I'm not putting Antonelli down, of course. He is an absolute genius, and I've actually been rather cheeky and decided to put some money on him to win on his F1 debut. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Antonelli. Meanwhile, this battle's still looking good further back. Razor Suwerthen having to defend and protect as Kanato Lee goes to battle. There's contact, and Kanato Lee will spin around. Oh, Aaron Cameron just gets a little bit too close, and Razor Suwerthen is the one that lives to fight another day. But there's trouble brewing for Ernesto Rivera as we go into the last lap. Brandon Badua, he's all over him. So Brandon Badua wants to move forward. This is going to be very tough for Ernesto Rivera to hold on to. A very tricky race battle. So now it's going to be a sensational run. Under the W Hotel, Rivera, Badua. The battle for 5th position raging, 20 seconds back from Slater. And if they trip over each other, Taito Kato is right there to pick up the pieces. So we've got yellow flags in the final sector, but this man has been absolutely exemplary. The second you get him into the lead of the race, you can't wrestle it away from him. Freddie Slater came back to the Middle East after his championship run last year in F4 with one thing on his mind, one objective, plan A, take the title. I'm not sure anybody really expected him to do it in the first round of the championship, but the way he's doing it now, if he continues this on in round 2, it's going to be very tough for anyone to catch him. Into the final couple of corners, and Freddie Slater takes one step closer to the Formula One paddock. The British superstar dominates again under the lights at Yas Marina. It's 2 out of 3 for Freddie Slater. Domination. Thy name is Freddie. Evan Schilter P2. Jesse Cadascado, stunning drive to P3, and it's going to go to the wire as Badua desperately tries to get back on Rivera, and here comes Kato! Kato's going to sprint him to the line! They're going to go side by side. Rivera gets 4th, who gets 5th? I'm waiting for it, it's Badua! Badua gets there by 16 thousandths of a second. It was actually for P6, of course, because Niall was ahead of them. But Rivera, Badua, and Kato have a great race to the line. Superb. Racing right to the wire. I tell you what, 2025 has absolute class written all over it. Some great talents working their way forward and some great racing to come. Nakamura comes home in 8th, Suwerthen is 9th, Jack Beaton is 10th for his first points of the season, Anzo Deligny in 11th, and 12th position for Aditya Kulkarni. What a comeback. He looked after his tyres well and got ahead of the likes of Cameron and Lee, who tangled, and Giovanni Mascio. Well done to Aditya Kulkarni. The final point is his, but that man in the number 27, Freddie Slater, absolutely phenomenal. Well, what a way to start the season. We've got 4 more rounds of this, 6 more races at Yas Marina, 3 at Dubai Autodrome, and 3 at Lusail. Slater takes the win from Schilter, Cadascado, Niall and Rivera, Badua in P6 from Kato, Nakamura, Suwerthen and Beaton, Anzo Deligny in P11, 12th place, the final point going the way of Aditya Kulkarni. Then it is Aaron Cameron from Kanato Lee, Giovanni Mascio and Kai Dadianani. Rashid Adaheri fights back to 17th, Vezalaho, Liuriki, and then it is Jaden Pariat, Finley Green and Lorenzo Castillo. Almost unsighted, Yugo Chukwu decided to come back into the pits and park it. Akshay Bora and Everett Stack retired early on. And there is a final 5-second time penalty handed out to Jaden Pariat for abusing track limits after his warning flag. It changes nothing in the podium. But what an amazing driver. You run out of superlatives. When you come to Mumbai Falcons in the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, class is expected of you. We certainly saw plenty of it last season. We saw a lot of great challenges. This was the team, of course, that saw Arvid Lindblad go from here to Formula 3 victories. Freddie Slater is here. It can't be long before he's a mention in Formula 1 paddocks. Out of the car gets Freddie Slater. He can't get out of it fast enough. He knows he's got to go through the procedures, but this one will feel fantastic. Still a rookie in Formula Regional, but 2 wins out of 3. That is how you do that. Domination in the 2 races he started from pole. If he gets it right in qualifying on Wednesday morning, my goodness me, is he going to be tough to beat in 2025. 2 wins out of 3. The British star is ready to ascend. He just keeps getting better. Evan Schielter and Jesse Gadescado will join him on the podium, but it's been one-way traffic. If Freddie Slater starts on pole position, you will not catch him. Well, we're going to chat with the drivers in the top 3 positions. Jesse Gadescado, P3. That really took some hard work to get into 3rd position. A lot of good overtakes there. Just tell us what it was like in the mix of it all.
Yeah, firstly, we knew it was going to be a quite hard race at the beginning. I was mostly trying to save tires. I just tried to save tires as much as possible. I knew if they used their tires, I could push at the end. So that's what I did on the remaining, I think, 20 minutes or 15. I just started pushing like hell, and then I passed Rivera, and then I just stick to my rhythm and just stayed there.
How good does this put you in terms of a mindset with a podium in the first weekend to then move on in a few days' time back here?
Well, quite good, yeah. Race 1, race 2 were quite unfortunate and quite bad, I think, from my side. And yeah, I think I could have done better. So I think this race 3 really, my self-esteem gets it higher. So hopefully next week I could try to replicate it.
It was a very strong race from you, Jesse. Well done. Good job.
Thank you.
Let's grab a word with the man in 2nd position. He got a podium yesterday. He gets another one today. His best result so far. Evan Schielter. Gigi, That was a fairly quiet race, it has to be said, but second position, you kept him a lot better honest than you did yesterday.
Yeah, it's getting better and better. We worked a lot yesterday evening to make the car even faster, and now it's looking great for the moment. We are catching up the leaders, so it's not so bad. And yeah, we have to still work a lot and improve for round 2, and we will see what happens.
The difference in lap times compared to yesterday's race, such a big drop-off tonight. It seems that these tyres have still got quite a bit of excitement in them.
Yeah, sure. We managed to get a lower degradation, and it was much better than yesterday. So yeah, we'll see for the next races.
We're looking forward to seeing you go one better on Wednesday. Good luck for it.
Sure, thank you.
So now let's talk to the man who's done the double once again, just as he did in race 1. Rookie winner and overall winner, the rookie Freddie Slater, commanding lead in the championship now, but that looked a much tougher race actually than race 1 was.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously we just knew what we were going to experience, obviously the similar conditions to race 1, so we knew how to manage it better in certain areas to make the life last a little bit longer. But yeah, we're in round 1, there's still 4 to go, there's a lot can go wrong, so you just got to keep your head down.
I heard you tell the boys here in the cool-down room that that was better than race 1 in terms of feeling. Does it get any better than that heading to Wednesday and Thursday?
Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday should be good, obviously, with the corkscrew, which is always quite fun. But yeah, I think as we go through each weekend, we're just learning more and more about this tyre, because obviously it's a new compound for all the teams this year. So everybody's learning day by day.
We're fascinated to see what you can do in round 2. Good luck for it.
Thank you.
Well, folks, you've been patient enough. We've got one final podium ceremony to talk you through here at Yas Marina, and it's been a sensational weekend of firsts all the way round, and we've got firsts in all 3 positions. In third position for Mexico, Jesse Carrasquedo. A great run for the Pinnacle driver, his first podium of the weekend, and a great way to go into round 2. In second position for France, Evan Gilter. A great run from Gigi. Third position yesterday, second position today. Maybe a victory on Wednesday. But your race winner for the second time in both rookie and overall for Great Britain, Freddie Slater. 2 out of 3 on his rookie campaign in Formula Regional. It doesn't get much better than that for the British boy wonder. Now, for the final time this weekend, we invite the General Manager of Top Speed Limited, Mr. Davide Gobi, to hand the trophies out. Starting in third position for Mexico and Pinnacle Motorsport, Jesse Carrasquedo. In second position for France and ART Grand Prix, Evan Gilter. And last but by no means least, your race winner for Great Britain and Mumbai Falcons, and the Rookie Cup winner as well, Freddie Slater. A magnificent end to the weekend for our top 3 drivers. There's 3 more races to come in the week on Wednesday and Thursday as we switch from the Grand Prix layout to the corkscrew. And so the competitors will celebrate in style. Now they can go bananas as our drivers will get busy with the fizzing. Congratulations to Jesse Carrasquedo, to Evan Gilter, and our double trouble winner, Freddie Slater. That's it from Yas Marina for the first round of the 2025 season. We'll be back for more in round 2 on Wednesday and Thursday. From Jake Sanson and the entire crew, thanks for watching. See you soon.